Hello everybody and welcome to what will be episode 3 of Farming Simulator 2017. And thanks to my great and wonderful skills of being a dumbass, I did not see the last time that I didn't have my snowball selected with OBS. Is great. But looks like we are ready to spray this first growth stage on our fields. Get that going. There. Yeah, we really need to lift it up a little bit more, but it'll be alright. I previously, was playing off screen a little bit. Previously, had the crop destruction mod on, and I've decided that I'm not gonna run it for the simple fact that when I'm in here fertilizing, it's gonna kill the plants that are there. When I am haying, it kills whatever grass I run over. Which doesn't, that doesn't happen in real life. And most of the time you can pick a time to spray your crop. No. Most of the time you can pick a time to spray your crop where the plant will actually be able to come back. Say, I raise corn and soybeans. Like, you can let it get to the second or third leaf on the corn, and if you bend the plant over, it will straighten up and grow back out. And I think for soybeans, if you don't let them get above 5 inches, they'll straighten back up and grow. So I don't see where the crop destruction mod is all that realistic. And the second time around, when you spray your corn for the second time or your beans for the second time, you're most likely going to kill the plant. I have seen corn that is 5 leaves high stand back up and still grow a decent ear. Nothing like it would have if that wouldn't have happened in the first place, but something is always better than nothing. And unfortunately, I will not be able to bring you guys videos in the mornings. I did yesterday. Yesterday was an off day, which means basically I just didn't go lift yesterday, because I generally like to take my workouts in the morning right after I get off work. Work's out of the way, workouts out of the way. I can take my sleep for 5-6 hours, take my nap for the day, and then go out and do what I need to do, whether it's something here on YouTube or going out to the farm. And it rained today, so we didn't end up combining anything. Too much of a hassle to switch over to corn just for one day. I may change it on here to where you only spray your crops twice, just for the simple fact of, that's how many times I usually spray my crop, unless we have a big weed issue or something. Then I will spray a burn down as well. But my usual regimen is you do a pre-emerge, then you do your one post-emerge spray, and that should take care of everything. I know there's some things like Glystar that doesn't really take care of water hemp and things like that, but generally the 2 passes works on everything. If it doesn't, you really need to look into your product and not how many times you're spraying. And that is something I would like to see them further incorporate about the time 19 or 21 or whatever, if they keep going numerically, or if they change it to Roman numerals or this edition or that. I would like to see them implement spraying as a weed control, because frankly I don't ever see anybody spraying liquid nitrogen on their crops or anything like that. That's usually injected into the ground via generally side dressing machine, but you can also put it on as a liquid starter with most planters actually. And this is going to be the last pass on this field. If I miss a little in the middle, I don't care. But each time you fertilize these fields, it's supposed to give it a 30% bump in the crop production. And I'm going to be missing a little, so what? Not that big of a deal. It's not going to break the bank anytime soon. And as you can see, I do have a little more money than the last time when we left off. I had, like I said, I played on screen a little bit. Basically, I just sped the time up to get the crops to the first growth stage so we could spray them this time around. And while I was waiting, I just did some contract work. Now, let's see if we can drive alongside here without having to take the time to fold this up, since all three fields are nice and close together. And this is what I would do. And it looks like I'm going to have to fold it, at least partially. Spare soybeans, it's going to make it a little easier for us to get a good coverage on this. It's not as tall of a crop. And I really didn't look in the shop. I didn't look to see. I'm going to look here in a moment if they brought back the self-propelled sprayer, whether it be the, what was it last time, Panther, something like that. Take a look, see right quick here. Oh, sprayers. And we have a SP400F. We will be purchasing that later down the road. I'm going to prioritize buying a few more fields right now. By fields, we need to definitely plant one to grass, because on this map there's really not enough grass provided to be able to go without, you know, solidly making a hayfield. Which generally I make one in all my playthroughs, whether I record them or not anyway. It's just a lot easier when it comes to cow production, and now in the base game, pig production. And I'm kind of a shitty sprayer man. But it's a game. I am not nearly this bad in real life. I do like to sit there and count my rows and make sure everything is sprayed. as I was saying, in 19 or games later on, I'd like to see them implement the usage of a sprayer being for weed control, or just something for weed control instead of just fertilization. But that would be something they'd have to probably be fairly careful with, because there is a point where having a sprayer for weed control and a cart to actually fertilize, and having that fertilization spraying regimen and everything, it may get a little boring, or may decrease the playability of the game a little bit. I'm sure they will make a mod to take that out of the game if you wish to do so. These are just things I would like to see in my own personal opinion. And the sprayer isn't quite as big as I'd like, but for most of these fields being a smaller to medium sized field, it's really not too bad. A lot of your base equipment is about the right size for this map, and you're not going to be using four-wheel drive tractors and self-propelled sprayers most of the time on a field like this, because frankly that would be really just a waste of money for something this small. I don't know, but maybe for you, the time factor, the amount of time that it would take would be 3 passes, so about 2 or 3 minutes. Maybe that time's worth the money to you. And I know they have rental in the base game now, which is a fairly nice feature. I may implement a little bit of it, but probably not going to see it a whole lot in this playthrough. I may end up changing my mind later, but money doesn't seem to be too hard to come by, especially with doing bigger contracts. We may do one of the bigger ones today, or we may just keep doing small ones while I'm recording, and I'll do the bigger ones while I'm off screen, because I do realize they can be a little boring for you guys. And we all know I'm not the most entertaining talking person in the world. But I do definitely know that the workers hired in this game are half retarded. Possibly even 3/4. Either that, or maybe they're coming to work drunk. Who knows? Maybe this area has a big alcoholic problem. Some of the things that they do as workers just make me shake my head and ask why. And hopefully we can get the rest of this field sprayed with just what I have in the tank. We'll at least get a good portion of the field anyway. If I have to go fill up, so be it. Not that big of a deal. At least not right now. We are not stretched for money at the moment. I do believe we'll go try to find a fertilization mission to do. with a crop on the field. That way we can do the fertilization mission, get the money, and if we can afford it, go ahead and buy that field, because that's basically, I didn't have to pay to seed it down. I didn't have to pay to fertilize it, at least the first or possibly the second or third time around. And so it's already going to be a crop that is harvestable, that's going to make me money, that cost me no input whatsoever. Yeah, besides a couple minutes of my own time. And when you're playing a game, your time is not very valuable. And looks like we finished it up. Did not have to go buy any seed. We are doing pretty good. A little quieter in the in-cab. Generally, I do not like to play in the in-cab camera. We'll leave that there and jump over to the pickup. What is this field here? Well, that's maybe. Alright, so we are at there. Looks like it is. Nope. Looks like that field is canola, so we'll check what the nominal value on it is. And it is a lot more than I can afford right now. So let's go find a different field. I am assuming this is where you will be taking care of your cattle. I generally don't like having the livestock so far away from the main farm, but that's probably just because in real life all of our livestock is right on the main farm. Now, why don't we back up here and check? Do we start off with a loan? Yes, we do. We'll pay a little bit on that. Drive around and find us a field. Little curb check. I do not believe we will be able to afford either of these. We're just going to keep off-roading here. Maybe this one. Right up here. Is 81,000, so of course we can afford that. And yet again, I parked the pickup in the road. We get a little free fertilization here. Get to use a new piece of equipment. Or new to us. And because of the mechanics, even though it is true that I will not have to fertilize 100% of the field, when I finish the mission, 100% of the field does automatically become fertilized. So we will be able to buy a fully fertilized field with a crop already in it. That yet again cost me nothing to put seed in, no fertilizer costs. I'm guessing growth stage 1 or 2. Don't think we're quite to the 3rd yet. If I knew I had the money, I would buy the field down there that's ready to harvest. That would be income right off the bat from it. And I'm not really even looking what's all fertilized. There's plenty of time. I can get her all done. And we are completing it fairly quickly, so just another minute here. Not a big payoff, but almost doubled my money with the time bonus, and we are going to buy the field. It is ours now. Now we're poor again. Just under 50,000. And a possibility of getting even more poor. Oh. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do this mission. Simply because I do not have a way of harvesting sugar beets at the moment, nor do I have the capital to buy the equipment to do so. So we will begin harvesting here. One of the few jobs that is a little easier to do with the in-cab view. They gave us 25 minutes to do the job. Hopefully that is a lot longer than what we will actually need. At least I'm guessing as much, because that is just how it usually goes. The rate at which the machine fills is already starting to slow down, even though this crop would be producing a lot better. It seems that you will never actually fill whatever harvester you're using. I don't know if it's just they don't have the ability to have an NPC actually drive the semi for you to haul things off, Or what would really be nice if they provided a tractor and wagon or semi or whatever, some piece of equipment, so you could actually, you know, take it off to storage or sell it, whatever that person would want at the time, and make a little bit more money off doing that as well. But we will take what we can, because in the end it's all money. I'm thinking sometime within the next, well, sometime probably within the next month, I will invest in the Logitech steering wheel and gaming pad for this game. Make everything a little smoother. And you wouldn't see the wheel turning half the turnable radius and then coming back really quick, as you do with a keyboard. But sometimes you just have to make do with what you have, and I have no issue doing that. And you can see the yield of the field has really, it's really either gone to shit or they've decreased it a whole lot, just because of what I was talking about earlier. And yesterday I put up a video of me running our 1660 Case IH combine, getting through a little bit of beans. If you haven't checked that out, please do. Show you kind of a real world working version of the 1660 that comes in the vanilla game, that is actually your starting combine. Looks like it would be producing so much better than what it is. This harvester probably would have been full 2 or 3 times by now if you were playing as if it were your own field. Still going at a pretty good rate of speed for what you're doing. No complaints there. May actually be a little quick. I think pretty much harvesting in general is just set at 6 miles an hour. Almost halfway there. And we have only used about not even a full 7 minutes of our time. So not too bad. should get a pretty decent time bonus. Honestly, I don't really even look at the payoff on these jobs. It is basically just free money that I don't have to do anything really to earn it. Sit here and drive a tractor for a few minutes. The bigger missions are quite long. There was one harvesting contract, took me around an hour and a half to do fully. Those are the ones I will definitely be doing off camera, because I don't think you guys want to sit through an hour and a half of just straight combining. That may be fairly boring for you guys. We try to keep these episodes, you know, as action-packed as farming gets, I would suppose you could say. And it looks like we are going to get to change the left turns to right. At least this once. Yep, the harvester, they're really, I mean, wow, if this sugar beet field was doing this bad in real life, I would feel very sorry for that person, because they had planted the wrong crop in the wrong place or had a very bad year. Almost 3/4 of the way done, more like 2/3 right now. Might want to put them lights on just in case it is dark outside. I think they do need a mod, kind of like the Darker Nights mod in Fallout 4, where it will actually make nighttime more realistic. And I realize they leave it this light so you can still play if you wish to do so. You don't have to sleep through the night, anything like that. But personally, I would like to see a mod like that come out fairly soon. It's not impossible to do. If I have the time, I just might make the mod myself. Mods for farming simulator games are fairly easy to make. Just time consuming. And speaking of consumption, I also noticed that it is an option to increase your fuel consumption on your vehicles. This is a very nice option to have if you would want to be a little more realistic, you know, running 2 PTO driven pieces of equipment. It's going to be very taxing on the tractor itself, and the more you tax the tractor, of course, the more fuel you're going to burn. But honestly, it's not burning that much fuel right now, and I just have it set on normal. I haven't even looked to see what the other settings are. I don't know if it's just a light, normal, and heavy usage, or if it's more of a dynamic usage where they can tell when the vehicle, or when the implement on the vehicle is working the vehicle harder than it normally would in its, you know, basic state, its idle state, whatever they would like to call it. It looks like we're going to finish about 99% of this field to get her completed to fill this contract. Hopefully it pays out well, and hopefully by the time we get it done we can... Well, I don't think we'll buy this field right off the bat. I think that we will let them go ahead and take care of the cultivation. Possibly. Oh, we'll see how much the field costs. We may just go ahead and cultivate, and I put the... Yeah, like I was saying, we may let them cultivate. If it's not too expensive, I'll just buy it right off the bat, and we can come back with the cultivator and probably the New Holland and cultivate the field. I'm not really going to get a whole lot of usage out of that New Holland fairly quickly. Once we start gaining more pieces of land to farm, the New Holland is probably going to be the first tractor to see its way out. And that could also be because I am a red man myself. Our farm is mainly red. And we have a 1486, a 1086, and a MXM 175. So generally we are IH powered. Our implements, on the other hand, are a little bit mixed. We have a Kuhn 7200 HD mower, the John Deere grain cart, which quite honestly I don't mind John Deere equipment. I do believe that you're paying for the name, paying for the paint, as we call it. And I've noticed, especially in the newer equipment, their fuel consumption is noticeably more than any other, brand of tractor. Now there's that. We'll see how much it is. It's 45,000. I think we'll go ahead and do the next mission on this and let them take care of the planting, just because that's over half of our available capital. So we will help them out a little bit, raise our capital at the same time. And which in turn is helping us. We don't have to spend the money to fertilize, plant, etc. this time around. This is a decently sized small field. You can get it done fairly quick. It's one of those fields I would see as you could do it all yourself without getting burnt out on planting or fertilizing, etc., etc. Because for me that's a big deal. I generally don't do the big fields, and I generally don't sow the fields myself. It is a fairly boring task to me. And honestly, if I can hire a worker to do the things that I really don't enjoy doing that much, I will. Looks like we may have to go back and fill that spot in that we missed over here to fully complete this mission. We're already 2/3 of the way done. which is nice. It's only been like a minute or two. That's what I like about these fertilization contracts. They don't take long, even on the big fields. They don't take long. They're quick. They don't pay out as well, but they're quick, easy money. And something you would do if you needed 4 or 5 grand for that next equipment purchase or that next field purchase. You could do a fertilization contract in a minute or two and have the capital available that you need for your next purchase. And if you're looking for bigger purchases and things, harvesting is the way to go. It takes a lot longer, but is a lot more beneficial to your pocketbook. I think that we will not do this mission right now. I think that is enough missions for the day. And I think on that we'll call her a day. We got everything fertilized, did a little bit of contract work. Next time I get back on here, this should be in the next growth stage, ready to spray again, and I'll see if I can get some money around to possibly. We're probably gonna get some new equipment. So we've got a couple more fields. I would like a larger sowing machine, just to make that planning process a little quicker. So as always, if you like the content that you're seeing and want to see more, please subscribe, drop a like down below, or a comment. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.